Hey everybody, you're listening to Just Be Creative podcast with Krist and Katie Norsworthy. But Katie's not here.
Not here.
So, I'm Krist.
And I'm Jordan.
Well, thanks for being on again. And spoiler alert: we're recording this at the same time we recorded the other one.
Don't give the magic away. Don't tell how the sausage is made. Oh.
But today we're making sausage. Now we're going to talk about lockdowns and coronavirus and
specifically coronavirus lockdowns.
Sure, and like youth group lock-ins.
Oh yeah.
And youth group coronavirus. No? Okay.
No.
Well, yeah. So Jordan, if you've listened to the last episode, and maybe you haven't, Jordan.
If you haven't, go back and listen to it.
Sure. But this won't be necessary. But you should, because it'll help my numbers. I mean, the podcast numbers. But whatever. But if his numbers go up, then maybe we'll have him back on. But if it only gets like 3 listens, then I know it was like...
That'll be probably just me, you, and Katie. Just checking in.
Yeah. Your wife didn't even listen to it. Just quickly, if you wouldn't mind, explain to everyone what you do, if you can.
Yeah, so I do video. So I'm usually part of some crews local around here, where I kind of more of the gaffer and key grip. So I'm setting up the lights or moving the grip equipment, which is like the stands or the frames, diffusion stuff. And so usually that's my role, where I fall into that on some productions. And that's mainly because I have most of that stuff, which is why I get hired out for that. But yeah, that's usually what I do right now. I mean, I also do weddings. Weddings have been, and I think still are, a major part of my bread and butter, I guess. So either filming people that book with me and then editing it, or I've lead shoot, or I'll second shoot for some other friends, that people that will double book, and so I'll shoot with them because I don't have anything going on, and so I'll work with them and help them out and shoot, and I have to edit it and everything. So yeah, so it just varies around, but it's just video stuff, dealing with video stuff.
You do a lot of, so I mean, when we say local, you do a lot of stuff in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Yeah, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, some stuff in Beaumont in Texas.
That rain is super loud.
It is. Might be fine though.
Oh, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and then New Orleans, Baton Rouge.
We have a hurricane coming.
Yeah, which would have already passed when they watched this.
Right, but when.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks ago for you.
Yeah. But
sorry I interrupted you, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. I have gone to Israel before for a shoot, so like a Bible. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. A Bible shoot story, like
lessons, course, study group that was being formulated. So we're there for 20 days.
Did you get to interview Jesus or
see the steps where he walked on? Yeah. So, so that was interesting. That's probably one of the farthest places I've traveled for work.
Probably.
No, definitely. Yeah. It's right up there right now.
Texas feels like another country, but
yeah, right. Israel's definitely a 2-hour drive. You're already on the other side of the country. Texas, 2 hours. You're not even into it yet. So, So that's basically what I do: video stuff, video work, either by myself or with other people, other crews that need help, and just assisting in different roles that they have. Usually 2 in 1 kind of roles.
What is a gaffer?
So a gaffer deals with the lights, so running the electricity and the power for everything, and setting up the lights on that.
So what is the etymology of that word?
I don't know, actually. I want to say I thought I knew, but I forgot.
Okay,
So
that's acceptable.
you know,
I mean, at a certain point in your career, like you've forgotten more things than a newbie even knows.
yeah, and
then when you're old, you just forget stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't go to school for this either, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this has just been stuff that University of YT,
School
YouTube,
of Hard Knocks,
So yeah, so it's been mostly a lot of stuff with that, or just on the job training kind of thing as well. Just talking to people. What's that mean? Oh, okay, cool.
All right, thanks. I'll Google it. Well, that's probably something that's different that you could always Google stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done it before. Like, how do I use my camera? Well, then Canon cameras are always, like, every single Canon camera is different. Like, we're using your Canon camera right now because my Canon camera's batteries died.
I happen to have mine.
And you happen to have yours because you're like a Boy Scout. My wife's camera doesn't even do video, but it's old. But yeah, all of the functions on it are different buttons. Like it's ridiculous. So I have to, all that to say, like I've literally been places where I'm doing work, whether shooting video or photography or something, and I happen to be using my camera or like my work's camera or whatever. With the work camera, it has a touch screen, so that's easier.
Yeah.
I just like, well, I don't have to figure out how to press the button. I can just touch it. Yeah. Like a 2-year-old. But yeah, Google in your pocket.
Yeah, I
helpful.
Do it all the time. Yeah.
But today we were going to talk about, like I said, just like how have things affected you during like COVID and stuff. I mean, obviously, it makes sense that you do a lot of weddings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, just off the top of my head, I know that is something that's
and a lot of the vendors in that industry have been like majorly affected like that.
And New Orleans has just been shut down completely for months.
So heavy restrictions I think still with that. Well, I guess I might start like.
Yeah, first started. If you want to walk us through what your whole, say your whole journey, because in one sense it doesn't really seem like it's actually been that long, but it also seems like it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
so.
It has. So I guess the beginning of all the lockdowns. I mean, I was actually scheduled to lead shoot for someone, and then lead shoot for another person, and then I had a wedding that was booked like through me for me, and all those got like, hey, cancel, or majorly rescheduled kind of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so I mean that was like it was a good amount of money. It's like okay, and I guess the weird thing that I kind of suffered through, I guess when I say suffered through, when that happened was maybe like the first 2, 3, maybe even 4 weeks or so, like probably went into like a low key like depression about it because it was weird because it was like it was kind of like my job, is it even important? Like, like if we had to evacuate Earth, I'm not going to be on the first rocket ship, like that kind of thing. I'm like, is my job, like what I do, important? Which I mean, I know it is, is it a very first world, kind of job too?
You might be hired to document the spaceships
leaving. Right? So,
hey, we're going to leave. Can you shoot that and then just email it to us?
So I mean, it was a really like kind of struggling, like is what I do important kind of thing.
Because also you're married to a nurse who, like, she
was still working during all that too. So it was kind of scary in that sense because no one knew anything at the time, and
for sure,
almost still know too much now. But a lot of things have changed, which is science. But she, it was like I said, it was scary because she still had to work. So it was like a blessing and a curse kind of thing. So it was good for that. It
was scary because, like you said, you don't know.
No one knew. No one knew. So, and then but I mean, get to be home with the kids and everything, and kind of went into like I guess just dad mode. Just being a dad mode, so just being home with them, which we had just gotten to a sweet spot with both of our girls being at the Mother's Day Out program that they're at, and so able to get like stuff done and everything, and then shut down. So yeah, so I mean, so it was a big hit for me, I guess, mentally, in dealing with that, and like, oh, is my job important? I mean, kind of thing. And I know it is, but it's still, I don't know if I like fully answer that question. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I'm going to put this in
weird.
context too. I don't think we've said it. We're recording this in the beginning of October.
Yeah.
So several months into this.
Right.
But still in it. Because, I mean, that's still...
Also affecting everything now. I mean, with weddings, there's so limited people that can be invited, or they're smaller, or some people aren't even having like reception. They're like sit down dinners now for their reception, or drastically, like I said, cut guest list, or even some way people have it if the venue is big enough, like they'll have like indoor, outdoor kind of thing. So like people can flow around. It's not all congregated in one big spot. But that depends on the venue size and everything.
Yeah.
So,
and it's difficult to do outside stuff in Louisiana.
Right. Yeah. Tell me about it.
I mean, as per the...
and then live bands or DJs. I mean, live bands have to be outside. DJs can be inside because there's no singing or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, so weddings have been greatly affected. I mean, that's venues, and that's the thing too. Like even the couples that have booked, all the people in the industry, like things are now going to be double booked. Like venues have in the future, like, well, we're booked here, we can't, we can't move your date, and so it's people figuring that stuff out too. I mean, we can do it as video people because we can get friends that, hey, can you cover this for me? I'll pay you. But like venues, like there's a physical location. That's all they can supply and stuff. So there's a lot of people that have just been in that industry that have been majorly, I mean, just live event stuff in general have been majorly impacted with that. So
like how, like at what point, I mean, I think we talked about it whenever it was happening, but like, when do you feel like what did you feel like whenever you were questioning your reality or, questioning your career choices?
Crisis. Yeah, existential crisis.
And not really seeing an end in sight. Like, what was that like for you? If you don't mind sharing.
It was just very like, what's the point? It was very nihilistic. Thought process, and for me, my personality, I can just get locked in my head and just run thoughts through my head, and it's just really hard for me to break out of that mentality kind of thing,
Which I mean, for obvious reasons, like when you're in that situation, it's easy to be that way. But then, I'm part of the reason we do a lot of the topics that we do on this podcast is to like encourage people,
right?
Because I think a lot of creatives, we kind of tend that way anyway. Not everybody. That doesn't mean you're not creative. If you're not a moody, depressed, like emo kid.
We're very self-critical of ourselves, though. I mean, for the most part, and that's how you get better. You critique yourself and like, what can I do better next time around?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to be good. So, kind of thing. But then again, at the same time, like, if you don't accept like those things, nothing you ever do is good enough for you.
Right.
So, I mean, you just have to, not trying to switch others, but like you have to appreciate where you were at that time. Like, I did the best I could. Yeah, I wouldn't do the same choices I made then, but I appreciate that work I did when I was at that level. Like, I did the best I could kind of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, going through it, I mean, it's, like I said, it was just like tough. I mean, it was just what's the point? Just very nihilistic, just kind of like, why am I doing this? Like, what is it really giving anyone? I need to go learn how to grow food, how do you grow corn and everything. Like, I was like, I mean, and I still have those thoughts every now and then too. Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess I think too big of a picture, just thinking like, am I really doing something that's that good? I mean, so, and,
I'm not trying to make this about myself, but I do, like, every once in a while I'm like, Like, why don't I work at an oil refinery? Like, should I just quit and be a welder?
Right. I mean, yeah.
Like those kind of thoughts. I'm just to say, like, those kind of thoughts happen in my head a lot. So to be in your position, if you're like me at all, you probably have those thoughts sometimes anyway. So then to be in that position where you're like, why didn't I do that?
Right.
Like if I'd made this decision 3 years ago, like I'd be sitting pretty right now and not worried about any of this. Although that's not necessarily true, because it has affected everybody in a lot of different ways. But those kind of things are the thoughts that go through my head a lot anyway.
Yeah. And it's just it's just challenging. I mean, and that's just, I think it's just part of my personality type. That's just how I am. I get locked in my head a lot and just can't break out of it sometimes and just have a hard time. Sometimes thinking positively, I guess, of things. For the most part, I try to be positive with things, but I mean, sometimes, like I said, I just run scenarios in my head that are not helpful, basically. And so, like, a lot of what if scenarios, I'm like, dude, like, that's not gonna happen, like, you know. But like when you're in that moment, it's hard to get out of it sometimes.
No, I mean that makes sense too, because most of the time, one thing in most situations, you, like you said, it's first world problem or whatever. You're like, oh, I could be making 3 times, 4 times, or whatever, twice the amount of money if I went right now and started doing this in 10 years. I could be like we talked about last episode. Like you can have the retirement and the health care and like all this kind of stuff. So those are times where it maybe not easy, but it's easier probably to be like, oh well, you know, you're going to wake up the next day and then go on about your business, and you know, because you have business to do, you have things to do, but whenever you're in a position where it actually seems like it's not only, you can't tell yourself, well, I'm being illogical, or like I'm okay, like this decision is fine. It's actually logical at that point.
Yeah, like,
because you're like, I don't know what the rest of the, like, my time here on Earth is going to be like. Like, what if weddings never happen again? Or if, like, all of the, or, you know, the other shoots you're going on, the corporate stuff, like, if we're not allowed to be in a room together and people can't be around each other without masks on, like, what does the rest of my life look like?
I mean, that's it's tough. I mean, thinking about those things too, and it's gotten better though. I think as things have picked up, so kind of like, I mean, in the back of my head, those thoughts are still there because anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. Like, and I think this, you know, makes us realize that too. But at the same time, almost like, we're gonna push it to the side and just get back to business, like as it can. But
when did things start to kind of change?
Pick back up. For me, or you mean like business wise? Or like mentally?
Well, both. Did they coincide, or did you have kind of like a personal breakthrough or whatever before like stuff started to pick back up work wise?
I don't know if it was, I guess as time went on with things, as people started to know more things, like, okay, maybe some things aren't as bad as we thought. Still bad. So I think it was just like a slow degradation of like, okay, it's going to be okay. Like, you're still here. Family's still here, you know. Maybe we don't need to wipe down all these things like we need to wipe down kind of stuff. And so I think just things like that. It was just, I don't think there was any particular breakthrough. It was just a slow recovery, I guess, in that sense. And even in a sense of business-wise, too, I think it was with weddings, just covering other people's stuff. Like, hey, are you available? Yeah, okay. And it just started picking up like that. And so, it wasn't any particular... I mean, because even with Louisiana, there wasn't all right, everything's back to normal.
Right.
It's you know, all in phases. So...
Yeah, and we've had, like, partial phases.
Right.
And then different cities are different. Like I said, New Orleans, but they still have, like, a mandatory mask. Which I think, like, they had it before all of Louisiana had it, or like Baton Rouge had it, and I think Louisiana then kind of instituted it later. Yeah, but I think that's gone now. Maybe it's not. I don't even know.
So some of the shoots that I do,
so like some of it's regional, some of it's company. Yeah. You know, but
I know. Well, and it's kind of changed in a sense too. Like, so like I say on set, not like Hollywood, but on set, like we're with some of the people. One of the agencies, or part of the crew with the agency that I'm working with, like they're like Drew Brees is the person that's on set. So like we have to get tested.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So like
because you are also not a sports fan.
You know, I mean, Saints. I mean, that's about it though. Yeah, you know. So I don't have cable, so I can't even watch stuff. But go Saints. But yeah. So like so for him, for example, for that stuff, like this is the agency's call, but like we have to get tested.
Okay.
Like a day before. So, I mean, I've gotten tested 3 times.
How'd
already.
that feel?
Well, one was a nose swab, and then the other one was a spit, and then the other one was the nose swab. The spit one was really gross because just like, I feel like it's like dribbling over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nose swab.
I've had to do a DNA. Well, I haven't had to do. I've chose to do the DNA test before, and they like send you a tube, and you just there's a line, and you have to spit into it until the line fills up.
Gross. Yeah, I mean, so getting tested for stuff, and then having to wear the mask on set too, and everything, or if we're in the studio somewhere wearing masks. But yeah, so and it fluctuates with the set, how big of a production is or not, or also that client, whoever's there, like how comfortable or not comfortable they are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, so there's still might not be handshakes, but like they might be wearing masks, or we're a lot farther apart and not wearing masks or whatever. So. Yeah, it's just changed up that, and it's weird though too because for the most part, my job I work from home, like with editing and everything, and so
you wear a mask.
No, yeah, but like not being around other people,
right?
So I just kind of like, oh crap, I have to go on that. Like you know, and that's been a weird, I guess, habit to, like remember kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Like okay, yeah, you know, so okay, just. Keep one in my car, keep one here, keep one there, kind of stuff. Because I mean, I just haven't gone out much at all. I mean, so my job didn't really need it at the time, you know. But now that I'm more filming and stuff and everything, like okay, cool, it's a little bit easier to remember. And all that. But so yeah.
It's like I worked from home from March to I don't know, like 6 weeks ago or so, and then like slowly integrated back into the office. But then, so like I was, there was times where I wasn't leaving my house or my neighborhood for a week at a time or whatever, to like run somewhere and then like come back maybe. So it was definitely a transition there. And then like now, so it's like I can park my car. I got to put a mask on to walk to my desk.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm at my desk, I don't have to have the mask on.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like I'm supposed to, I got like remember to put it back on to like go to the bathroom or do like a temperature check and like all that kind of stuff. So then there's like just changing it up. Like, oh, do I have the mask on? Do I have? And so like I have some that I keep at my desk, and I just have like multiple in my car and stuff like that because it's then the kids are like, oh, like I forgot my mask. I'm like, oh, I'm bringing you to school. We're on the way to school, and neither of you have your mask. So like, luckily I have 3 extra masks, and I have to like tie them up so they'll like fit their face and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just think even with like because our 5-year-old, she should be in kindergarten, so we decided to homeschool this year, and so mainly because we didn't want we didn't know what's happening, but we didn't want to go come to school. All right, go back. Oh, come to school, and we're just like, we're gonna homeschool kindergarten the year, at least a homeschool a year, to do that. So it's been challenging in that aspect of some things, especially for my wife, because I was a teacher, and so like I could be a little bit more patient and everything, and for her it can be challenging, but she's gotten a whole lot better, I think, with it, from what I've seen too. So. Man, I think it's just the thing as a parent, you just grow.
This is on video. Say she's doing amazing.
She's doing amazing. I mean, yeah, like so. And so, yeah. Well, I told her that. Yeah, I've told her that. Like, proud of how she's.
Look at the camera and tell her.
Very proud of you for.
Say, darling, you're doing A+ job.
A+. A+.
A+ 100.
So yeah. So. Yeah, the tests. It's like the tests are annoying, but at the same time, like okay, gotta do it. Your job, not a problem. Sure. I'll make money. Okay.
Right.
Like, yeah, all right. It's not a
Do you
problem.
want to go grow corn in your backyard?
Like, which my father-in-law grows corn, and it's pretty dang good.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. It's good corn.
I want some corn.
We have some in the freezer. We could probably give you some.
Frozen corn?
From like a couple of years back, yeah. It's still good. It's still good.
I mean, well, like I used to love corn on the cob, and then but not really anything else. Well, popcorn, you know, and like candy corn. Yeah, I like candy corn. I think I like garbage candy, but
I like the orange peanuts. Like
yeah.
I love that.
Orange peanuts, Tootsie Rolls, candy corn. I think here's my theory. I am the youngest by a significant amount in my family. So I think that at some point, my brother and sister, they would just give me the garbage candy. And so, like, they were like, oh, like, we got the candy. And then, like, here, you can have this,
we got
Chris.
the Twix and Snickers.
Yeah. And then, like, I would just get the garbage candy. So, like, that's what I like.
I grew up on that.
I have no proof of this at all. I probably just have really garbage taste.
Maybe so.
I'm just a junk food junkie.
Yeah.
So then I like the lowest quality of junk food.
I can understand that.
But my theory may hold water.
Makes sense.
In my head, it makes sense.
It does make sense.
I have no memories of it or any way.
Well, you wouldn't know it any other. Like, oh, that's the candies we get.
Right. Because, I think my brother might even listen to this. So I'm just being funny, but I'm just silly. But my brother is 6 years older than me. My sister is 8.5 years older than me. So, like, you're right. If I'm like 4 and he's 10 and she's 12 or 13, then yeah, they could totally pull that off.
Yeah,
I would never know.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. I don't know why I like the orange peanuts. I'm not so.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've been made fun of by people for loving I'll be like, oh yeah, I like that, and people are like, you like that, and that's like the garbage candy. And
like Tootsie Rolls. Is that really garbage?
Apparently, because they compare it to chocolate. I'm like, well, I never thought of it as chocolate. I don't think of it as chocolate.
I think
but it's like chocolate taffy. It's like chocolate flavored.
Even though it's not like really even like Roman candy. You know, it's not
so exactly. See, it's garbage.
Yeah,
I love Laffy Taffies. Whatever. The banana Laffy Taffies are amazing, but whatever. Apparently, I'm a garbage human being.
I know to give you for Christmas,
dude. Banana flavored candy.
Yeah.
Anything.
Is it artificial? Yeah. Do I like it? Yeah.
Yeah. What does it matter? Late 80s, early 90s kid. I think that's just maybe. They just fed us garbage.
That's how it was.
Yeah, I mean, I know last time we talked about, like, what does your future look like, but or, like, what do you see yourself doing in the future? Yeah. But we didn't really talk about it in the context of a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think your future looks like? I'm not trying to make you depressed again.
I know, right?
You drive home in the rain and think about corn. I had a corn story, but whatever. I got fed up with corn. I was in Peru for 2 weeks, and it had like corn every day, and it was like huge corn, and it was probably really good, like natural corn.
Yeah.
But I just got corned out. So, like, what do you think like, not necessarily even for you, but just like, what does the industry look like? That
I'm curious to see if the rules on set are going to go and change back to normal or stay as they are. That'll be interesting to find out.
Mm-hmm.
With the mask stuff and everything. I mean, I'm not in the best shape of my life. I've been moving all the heavy equipment, and sometimes if it's upstairs, like the second flight of stairs, I'm out of breath. I get this mask on, and so it's even harder. And so, I mean, I know I'm not in the best shape of my life, kind of thing. But like moving 400 or 500 pounds of equipment, it's like 20 pounds here, 20 pounds there, but we're on flights of stairs and stuff. So that stuff. Yeah, I'm just curious to see how that's going to change. If it is going to change, go back to normal or not, or always testing or not testing.
Yeah.
If there's MVP talent, kind of thing. That's needs to be on camera. That's going to be on set. So I don't know. I can't predict the future. So
Right. And if you're a welder, you would always been wearing a mask anyway.
You're just burning away with them.
That's
not how that works at all. But
yeah, I mean, I guess a lot of that partially depends on. What am I thinking of? Like a
vaccine.
Vaccine.
Yeah.
And if people vaccinate and all of that, whatnot. Because then, I mean, they might be like, well, you can't come on set unless you do vaccinate.
Right. Yeah. So that gets into all other.
That would be a whole other discussion we'll have to talk about.
Yeah. Because I mean, I thought about that. Because my wife, she has to get vaccinated for work. The hospital, or if she doesn't want to be vaccinated, for a flu shot, I should say. So she has to get flu shots every year, or which she does. But if you do want to opt out of that, then you have to wear a mask during flu season. Kind of thing. So yeah, I'm curious. We'll have to see. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Not in those major decision making.
Right.
And
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, who knows what any of this, we don't know. And the people who are making those decisions don't know either, because nobody knows anything. So, what does anybody know?
Or do they?
Well, maybe it was a pandemic. All right, I just lost half of our audience. Because either they think I'm making fun of it or they think I believe it.
Well, one of the two. I guess that's...
Or maybe I just lost 100% of them because they all just both...
mad at you.
Yeah. Well.
So, yeah, so, I don't know. Let's see. We'll just have to see. That's the big thing. I mean, and I'm curious to see. I mean, because even with weddings, some people, they're not going to wait a year to get married. Like, they're still going to get married. Yeah. So they're still going to have a simple wedding they have scheduled for this year or something. And they maybe just have a big party at the next time around. So some people have done
like
that.
Their next time they get married, or just like
that's all right. Yeah. So yeah, if they were scheduled to get married on a certain day, like they'll just go see a justice of the peace or have a small private ceremony, and then everything that because a lot of times what happens is you put a booking deposit down, not even for video, but for the venues and everything else. And so, hey, we'll just so we don't lose that booking deposit, we'll just reschedule it, however far down in the future, and then just have a big, hey, come party.
Like a shindig.
Or
a fade-o-do.
Celebration or...
Hootenanny.
Hootenanny.
So have you experienced that? I mean, I'm not really in the wedding, club, so I don't really know what's going on. Have people done that so far?
Yeah, one person they had a small ceremony. So I was lead shooting for a friend for that wedding. And then a few months later, they had the ceremony and reception again and everything. So we went and filmed that. And then a couple of people, they're just either downgrading their stuff to like simpler.
Yeah.
Or we're just doing a sit-down dinner kind of thing. And
you're going to uninvite all the people you don't like.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. We had to cut the list down. Like, yeah.
Sorry, siblings aren't allowed.
Sorry, Aunt Karen. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, people I think it just adapted and changed it. I mean, some people they don't want to wait to get married, so they are whatever. I don't know if they made plans like they bought a house or things like that. So,
have you made any? I thought this was going to be a short conversation, like I typically think everything will be. But have you had any work that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have had because of the lockdown? Like, are people maybe leaning more towards video for certain things that maybe they wouldn't have? I mean, obviously, we're aware of things of like Zoom meetings that are happening, or like people are doing live streaming stuff. Like, oh, we're going to live stream this conference rather than have it in person kind of thing. But is there anything like other than that maybe has had new opportunities where they wouldn't have been there before?
Some people have asked about live streaming the wedding.
Okay.
Like smaller, like the wedding to have. Hey, can we live stream it? Which that's doable, but like I also had to like tell them like, hey, there's a lot of issues involved, like with the internet connection. Does the place have internet? Like, or is you gonna have a crappy quality kind of internet? And then like I can't be worried about the live stream if I have to focus on the actual filming part. And so like, there's more costs that are added to it because I have to get someone to hire that out. And also even just the audio. Yeah. Like you can have the camera live stream, but there's no audio, so you have to have the audio either being live streamed as well too. So, there's so many variables with that. I mean, I haven't done any, I haven't pushed it. I just know it'd be more difficult and, just sort of the price point that's going to do that. And, and the stress of that, if it doesn't work too, I'm just like, I don't want to let them down. I don't want them to be disappointed. And then I don't want, I just don't want to deal with that stress of that kind of thing. So, there's workarounds. And then there's some stuff that I involved with. It's not my things, but like one of the shoes I've been helping out on there is a giant green screen that they're doing like educational stuff. So they're creating episodes for.
I think Mike Pence's Fly.
Like,
no one's gonna get that reference in 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Google it.
Not current.
Happened yesterday.
Yeah, right. Educational stuff has been a lot of kind of that. Church stuff. We started the church going to like part of the group that started the live stream aspect. So we did like a living room setting, almost like a community group, life group, whatever you want to kind of call it. Made it look good and everything. And as we moved into a bigger fellowship hall. And then kind of now we're back in the sanctuary sort of thing. So, and the guy who set up, created all the whole live stream stuff, and I supplied lights and other things like that, and camera operated, and then he directed all the stuff, and so basically he created a whole live stream program for that church because of the pandemic kind of thing. So the church never had one. They wanted to go in that direction, but they kind of he had nothing else going on, because everything. He's bigger. He does more national stuff and everything too. So. He's like, nothing else going on right now. So he was able to help out and create that for them. And so, that's what they're doing now on Sunday morning. So they have live stream stuff, but, nothing super new that I've been involved with that I can think of.
Okay. Podcast videoing.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's just vlogging.
Vlog. I hate that. It's not a word.
It's not a word.
I mean, maybe in like Russia that could be a word.
I know it doesn't. What's blog then?
A blog is a.
I know what a blog is, but what's the B part stand for?
I've looked this up before. I think it was just something that. Again, I asked you what a gaffer was, and you asked me what a blog is. I've looked it up. Vlog is video log.
Because you're logging video.
Right. So captain's log. That's a log. So blog seems like a portmanteau of some sort, right? Where you're throwing a B, like email is electronic mail. An iMac, but that's not anything. That's just made up. A B log. Let's look it up. I was talking about having Google. Let's see who can Google fast.
Why not? Oh, I don't know why I'm looking up too.
Let's see who's faster.
You're on the Wi-Fi.
Oh, that makes sense. Look it up.
Oh, gosh.
Look it up. It's from the 90s, and it's an abbreviation.
Blog. Maybe I'm not looking at the right thing.
I just typed in blog.
Oh, it's a truncation of weblog.
Yeah, a web log.
Yeah, blog.
That makes sense. The more you know. They just... Because it's the internet, they just cut off the we part.
Lazy.
So blog.
Yeah, like no one ever says www.justbecreativepod.com.
No one says that.
No one says that.
Visit justbecreative www. I messed that up.
You did.
Visit visit http://harmonic-films.com. I got that right. So yeah, weblog.
Yeah.
And then they just started calling it a blog.
Makes sense.
Now we know. And then it became vlog, which is short for video log. So it's dissected in the other direction.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an ugly sounding word though.
Yeah.
Vlog.
It's either vlog or vlog, and I don't like either one.
Vlog.
Yeah. Just call it a video. We'll just call it a video.
Vlog is a type of codec or recording format.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb.
For a certain camera, yeah.
I like ATSCI. What is it?
No, I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm
not important. I'm important.
I don't know what happened. Did we? Or is it over? The pandemic, not the podcast. The poddemic. Can I make jokes about it yet? Can I say poddemic? Am I gonna get?
I'm sure someone's already done that.
Okay.
So
there's got to be a podcast called Poddemic, and if there's not, I'm gonna go buy that domain name right now. www.poddemic.com.
You should get to that .com. It's important.
Pod-demic.com.
No, but then you have 2Ds.
Or is it Podemic? But then they're going to think it's a website about Podameric.
Oh, I thought it would be like Po Boys.
Ooh. That's the end of the podcast.
Yoo!
Please visit www.justbecreativepod.com.
Found on the interwebs.
That's short for the World Wide Web.
World. The whole wide world.
The whole wide world.web. And follow us at Just Be Creative Pod on Instagram. And at Just Be Creative Pod on Facebook. And at Just Be Creativer on Twitter. And then if you want to find us on YouTube, you can search Just Be Creative Podcast. Or you can go to www.justbecreativepod.com and there's links to all of that stuff. And we're on Spotify and Amazon Music and iTunes podcasts and iHeartRadio and all kinds of stuff. So do that and then give us a rating. Thank you, Jordan.
Stay safe. Just be creative.
Oh.